उनके आने से हुई महफिल में आवाज, चश्मे महारोशन दिले माशाल। We warmly welcome you all in the first international conference organized by University of the Punjab Gujranwala campus. उनके आने से हुई महफिल मेरी आवाज, चश्मे माह रोशन दिले माशाल।
बताओ जाके दो पीछे चल रहे हैं, एक किधर ही साइड कवर कर कैमरा नहीं सीधी
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. With the name of Almighty Allah, the most merciful, the most gracious, the most beneficent, I am Adila Hussain. And I am Hafiza Satya Shokar. On behalf of University of Punjab Gujranwala campus, with tremendous pleasure, we welcome you all at the very first International Research Conference on Business, Technology and Social Sciences. Ladies and gentlemen, COVID-19 is a particular infectious disease that is widely accepted as a fundamental health crisis, thereby adversely affecting the well-being of the global economies. So, but apart from this, the pandemic also proved to be a blessing in disguise. It has created enormous opportunities and lessons from the greater digitalization and sustainable performance of the corporate and social sector. Therefore, the primary goal of this conference is to bring together diverse academicians, scholars, and leading entrepreneurs for the multidisciplinary examination of COVID-19 pandemic lessons. Let us commence the event with the name of Almighty Allah. All praises and thanks to Him. ए आलमी नजूमो जवाहर के किरदार,
मुझको भीगे हुए शामों सहर तोलना सिखा। मैं भी तेरे वजूद की गवाही तो दे सकूं। तू रब्बे लुत्फ़ो लब है, मुझे बोलना सिखा। तू रब्बे लुत्फ़ो लब है, मुझे बोलना सिखा। I request Hafiz Mama to recite few verses of Holy Quran. Hafiz Mama.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يدبر الأمر من السماء إلى الأرض ثم يعرج إليه في يوم كان مقداره ألف سنة مما تعدون. ذلك عالم الغيب والشهادة العزيز الرحيم. الذي أحسن كل شيء خلقه وبدأ خلق الإنسان من طين ثم جعل نسله من سلالة من ماء مهين ثم سواه ونفخ فيه من روحه ثم سواه ونفخ فيه من روحه وجعل لكم السمع
beacon of the universe and paradises. He is the mercy, and the mercy is He. He is the honored one, and for Him, humanity is honored.
या साहिब अल जमाल व या सय्यद अल बशर मिन वजहिकल मुनीर लक़द नुबिल अल क़मर ला युमकिनु सनाउ कमा काना हक़्क़ुहु बादस खुदा बज़ुर्ग तुई किस्सा मुख्तसर.
I would now like to call Noman Javed for Nafe Rasool Maqbool.
खुशबू है दो आलम में तेरी है गुले चीना किस से माया हो तेरे होसा फिर हमेरा तुझसा कोई आया ना तुझसा कोई आया ना देता है गवाही यही आलम का जरीदा देता है गवाही यही आलम का जरीदा खैरात मुझे अपनी मुहाबत की अता खैरात मुझे अपनी मुहाबत की अता कर
Professor Dr. Naveed Iqbal Chaudhary, Director General University of the Punjab Gujranwala Campus, to welcome the audience as the conference chair. सितारे बांटता है और ज़यार तक़सीम करता है, सुना है हब्स मौसम में हवा तक़सीम करता है. The one and only Professor Dr. Naveed Iqbal Chaudhary.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. The chief guest of the day, the worthy Vice Chancellor, Professor Engineer Dr. Niaz Akhtar Sahab, Professor Dr. Berna Kalkulet Uluda, the Cruz University, Turkey, and two of the products of this campus, Dr. Jamshed Iqbal, University of Jigaskola, Finland, Dr. Qasim Ali Nisar, Taylor University, Malaysia, Dr. Puram Joya, King Fahd University of Petroleum and Minerals, Saudi Arabia, Professor Dr. Mudassar Gafoor, Director JLM Campus, all scholars, faculty members, and my dear students, Assalamu Alaikum. I welcome you all from the core of my heart at our first International Conference of Business, Technology and Social Sciences. Firstly, I do appreciate all the efforts of our Conference Secretary, Dr. Wasimur Rahman, Conference Coordinator, Dr. Muzammar Khurshid, all the members of Research Society, and all volunteer students for their efforts, because all we know that it is very difficult to organize an event like this. You require sufficient financial resources, and most of all, you require staff who show the same kind of passion and dedication as my whole staff of Punjab University Gujranwala Campus has shown to arrange this marvelous event of academia. We are very pleased and felt obliged while providing this platform of our first international conference to such a highly knowledgeable audience of scholars, researchers, teachers and students to share their research ideas with the world. Alhamdulillah, in our first conference, researchers from all the leading universities of Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, Malaysia have submitted more than 150 research articles related to environmental and social governance, financial economics, marketing, innovation and entrepreneurship, organizational behavior and human resource management, arts and humanities, English literature, computer science and information technology. Under the umbrella related to the theme of the conference, COVID-19 pandemic lessons for digitalization, corporate and social sector sustainability. With respect to theme of the conference, we have arranged 2 panel discussions and also arranged 2 workshops for our potential researchers. I am very confident that this conference will open new avenues of research discussions for the upcoming researchers in the field. Dear participants, now research in academia is essential in order to get ahead in your professional journey. That's why I am sure that those individuals, researchers and institutions who will invest and give more attention in the field of research, they will lead and get more benefit in the near future. These type of events are a positive change for all those who are starting their career in academia as a researcher. Again, I would like to extend my congratulations to all the participants for their contribution in our conference. This conference will be a success because of your efforts and participation. I am very grateful to all the presenters, keynote speakers, session chairs and co-session chairs, and all those organizers behind the scene, especially our students of Research Society, and all those volunteers who are helping us in arranging this event since last couple of months. Our heartfelt gratitude and sincere thanks to all our administrative employees as well. I am very grateful to the worthy Vice Chancellor, the chief guest of the day, for honoring us with his kind presence. Thank you, sir. Before I leave the rostrum, I request you all to have a great round of applause for all my fraternity members and administrative staff for their continuous efforts to arrange this marvelous event. Finally, I thank you all for being the part of this first conference, and with reference to its theme, I believe it is need of the time for the better survival and the development of the whole community. May Allah bless you all and all the good life ahead. Inshallah, you will enjoy your time here, and we will try our best to provide you the best hospitality. Thank you very much. Jazakumullah khair.
Thank you, sir. Well, researchers are often relentless, I must say, in challenging the boundaries and breaking the norms. This year, we are immensely proud to present renowned researchers not only from Pakistan but from all over the globe. For this event, we have tried to gather the best of the best. Alhamdulillah. Through this interaction, we hope to inspire and awake the passion of research both in researchers and scholars. We strongly believe that their views and experiences will benefit all of us in the long run.
ये हर साल बाइसे ताज़ीम लोग हैं, निकले हुए हैं लफ्ज़ की तौक़ीर के लिए. Now we would like to introduce our today's keynote speakers. Professor Dr. Barna from University of Turkey, Professor Dr. Khurram Joya from Prince Muhammad bin Sulaiman College, Saudi Arabia, Dr. Jamshed Iqbal from Finland, Professor Dr. Mustafa Bekmezi, National Defense University, Turkey, and he will going to join us virtually. Professor Dr. Muhammad Mudassir Wafoor from University of the Punjab, Jhelum campus, Dr. Qasim Ali Nisar from Malaysia, Dr. Lubna Khan from Gujranwala, and Dr. Adman Khan from Gujranwala. Welcome you all.
We welcome you on behalf of Punjab University Gujranwala campus. Now I request our first keynote speaker, Professor Dr. Barna from Turkey, to please share your views with all of us.
Hello everyone. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for inviting here. It's such a special honor for me to be here. It is my first time in Pakistan. Pak, Turkey, Dosti, Zindabad. I'm a full professor at one of the famous state-owned universities in Turkey, and I used Dr. Muzammil as my PhD student. So from Muzammil, I know a lot about Pakistan, and special thanks to him. Turkey and Pakistan have very special close ties. Can you hear me? Yes, that's great, because I'm not okay with mics, but I like walking and talking like this, so I'm so active. Or I can have the mic. Okay, now much better, because I am very mobile. From history, from World War and from the Ottoman Empire, two countries, we are close friends, and the people, we love each other. And I know that recently the soap operas, Turkish soap operas, Ertuğrul Gazi and Hürrem Sultan and other figures are quite famous. And two countries have very deep, long and strong relations. And I am here not to only deliver lectures, but to express my appreciation and gratitude to you, and particularly to conference organizers. Let me talk about my speech. My speech is about the lessons, what we learned from COVID-19 pandemic. Actually, when we talk about COVID-19 pandemic, it was a global issue. That pandemic hit not only one single country, but many countries severely. Not only Pakistan, not only Europe, not only China, not only Turkey, but it was a global issue. And because of the COVID-19 pandemic, we learned how to communicate using online sources. Before, we used to have in-person communication, but COVID-19 taught us digitalization and importance of technology, and also we learned about remote working. Particularly, remote work has entered our lives as a new normal, and we faced with drastic changes, not only in terms of working life, but in terms of consumption, in terms of production, and in terms of how to appreciate the human relations. We didn't only learn to keep distance, social distance, or remote working. We stopped for a while and we started thinking what the life is all about. Before COVID-19, we used to work a lot. We used to maybe become workaholic, and we used to obey rules. But after COVID-19 pandemic, we learned there is another life, because we learned and we witnessed that people were dying. And it's not one or two people. A lot of people lost their lives because of the pandemic. And COVID-19 pandemic also taught us to be respectful to the environment. Before, we were not very conscious about the environment. We were consuming the energy. We were not very aware of the being respectful to the environment. But after COVID-19 pandemic, we witnessed that the pandemic was not only the case that taught us to be respectful to the environment, but also it made us to think about new normal. So during my speech, I will be talking about how we became somehow addicted and dependent on the technology, and how our consumption and production patterns change, and also how we learn about the digitalization and also human relations during this lockdown. I think I cannot show. No? Okay. Because I would like to share some statistics and some figures, but yeah. Okay, but I need to show the statistics.
इमरान साहब लाइट का कोई
Okay, thank you. Okay, it happens, no problem. Okay, what I was talking about, throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, we learned how to become, how to have the remote working. And during the pandemic, our behaviors also changed significantly. We have been forced to have the virtual meetings, online, Zoom, and other communication tools meetings. And also, we were locked down and we reduced traveling. And also, our consumption patterns changed. And I would like to share some figures, statistics regarding this. Okay, right now, another slide, please. Okay, if you have a look to these figures, you will see that the electricity demand during the COVID-19 pandemic, and we see the patterns from US, European Union, China, and the world. And if you pay attention here, okay, this is coming from 1970s. And remember, during 1970s there was an OPEC crisis. But if you look at the 2020, you see it is minus, it decreased in the United States. And Europe, you see the same pattern, while the other years, the electricity demand, they were plus, positive. Same is true for the United States, it's true for European Union. But when you look at China, China is quite interesting. When you compare the electricity consumption, you see that the electricity consumption of China is great, much higher than the other continents, the other countries, because China is a rising power and the country is very developing significantly, and because of the development, China needs great energy, not only electricity, but also oil and other sources of energy. When you look at the China's electricity consumption pattern, it also decreased, but it is not as great as it was for the EU and also for the United States. But when you look at the world, this is quite interesting. When you look at the world, you don't see any decrease. So in sum, the decline in the energy consumption or in electricity for the worldwide, we don't see any clear, significant decrease. You only see here, but this is very minor in comparison with China, EU, and the United States. That shows us that figure shows us that during the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020, yes, the demand for the electricity decreased significantly, particularly for EU, for United States, but not as strong as for China. If you look at the worldwide, the decrease is not very meaningful. Next slide, please. Okay, and this graph shows us the energy demand and the consumption. And when you look at the energy demand and consumption, you see again a same declining pattern for EU, US, Japan, Korea, India, China. And if you look at the other developing countries such as Africa, it is not very significant. But we see the large, significant, major difference for European Union and for United States. And this pie chart summarizes us the energy consumption, energy usage of the major countries, including EU, US, and China, and the bar graph summarizes the same thing. Next slide, please. Okay, this is very meaningful as well. This is also indicates the energy consumption, the need for energy. If you look at the bar charts, particularly during COVID-19 pandemic, the April-May 2020, we see a huge decline. The trend is converging, you see the U shape, but the convergence supporting U-shape. Particularly, it is very meaningful when it comes to Europe, China, and the United States. But for the rest of the world, it is not very meaningful. Those major countries or major continents, regions, including China, Europe, and the United States, we see that the energy consumption declined, particularly during 2020. But pay attention. When we move forward, particularly at the end of 2020 or early 2021, the energy consumption or the need for energy is getting better. It's getting better. Next slide, please. Okay. And this indicates us the carbon dioxide emission for 2020, 2021, and 2022. If you look at the carbon dioxide emission, particularly we see not a very big drop, mild, moderate drop during here. You see, there has been an increasing trend since 1960s. You see, there is a steep increase here, but when the pandemic occurred, you see decline here, but this decline is very minor, very minor. It is not very big, it is not huge as people expected. Next, please. Okay, this is the world passenger traffic. During the pandemic, as I mentioned earlier, people stopped traveling because we were all locked down and people couldn't become mobile, and this also affected the number of passengers. And here you see there is an increasing trend here, particularly during 1980s, 90s, and early 2000s. This is a steady trend here. The number of passengers increased enormously. That is because of the technology, that is because of the globalization and the liberal economic policies, and also increasing the purchasing power parity. But when it comes to the pandemic era, you see a sharp decline. The number of passengers, the number of flights stopped suddenly. Next, please. And this is also emission. This is the emission. And during COVID-19 pandemic, we see that the emission levels decrease or they become stable. Here, you can see the trends. They are not increasing too much, but we see here, in terms of global level, we see a very minor decrease. It is not big, it is not large, but it is minor. Next, please. Okay, what I want to say here, it is very important. Many people think that the COVID-19 pandemic made people to consume less energy, less oil, less electricity, because we were locked down. Yes, to some extent, this is true, this is correct. But this is not permanent. This is something temporary. The short or medium term, one might think that because of the pandemic, people become more friendly to the environment because we spend less energy, we consume less electricity, and we didn't destroy the nature, we didn't destroy the environment. That is true to some extent, but in the medium or the long run, that is not normal. Next one, please. Okay. Now, what is interesting here? That indicates us the working from home. And according to Statista, during the COVID-19 pandemic, people stopped traveling. We didn't use the public transportation, or we didn't fly, or we didn't drive our cars. We had more flexible hours, and we used to dress more casually. And also, we keep the social distance, and also our productivity decreased this time. Online or remote working didn't make people to have more productive outcomes. Unlike the expectations, online or remote working made people less productive, because the key element here is interaction. If people do not interact with each other, If we don't see each other, if we don't communicate with each other, we don't have opportunity to exchange the ideas. Online or remote or distance learning, online or remote working, doesn't make people more productive. During the COVID-19 pandemic, people were locked down and we started working at our homes. But it didn't help us to produce more. Interaction is the key word. If you meet your colleagues, if you come together, if you talk with each other, you exchange the ideas. And this inspires the others. So some people may think that digitalization is good. Yes, but to some extent. Digitalization is not good for becoming social or for getting inspiration. So in this case, what we learned from COVID-19 pandemic, we learned to have more flexible working hours. That is something nice. That is good. Why that is good? Because before COVID-19 pandemic, because of the big institutions and the strict working life, people were somehow slaveries. I'm coming from the faculty of business and I teach my students, be creative and become entrepreneur. How can you become entrepreneur and be creative? If you don't see something new, if you don't get interaction, if you don't exchange the ideas, you cannot be creative. If you work like a slavery from 8 a.m. till 7 p.m., and then you go back home and you eat and you take care of your family and responsibilities. How can you become creative? In order to become creative, in order to become entrepreneurial, you need free time. If you have free time, then you can be creative. If you work, non-stop and regular working life, you cannot become creative and you cannot become entrepreneurial. Indeed, it's such a great effort of this conference committee. They organized the conference about COVID-19 pandemic. But if you ask me my personal opinion about the issue, the title, the theme of the conference, I think the countries like Pakistan or the countries like Turkey, I mean, they are all developing nations. We shouldn't discuss the COVID-19 pandemic. Because we are in countries, we are just developing. We don't consume the energy. We don't spend the electricity like the advanced countries. Just last month in January, there was a World Economic Forum at Davos. And people, the presidents, the prime ministers, or the chief executive officers, they went there and they discussed the COVID-19 pandemic. Their ability and their power to control COVID-19 pandemic. They are the people who can produce policies, who can change the world. If you look at the contribution of the carbon dioxide emission or the consumption of energy of the developing countries or the less developed countries, it's not happening. That should be on the shoulders of big nations, developed countries. But as a universal lecturer or as citizen coming from a developing nation, what can we teach? We can teach. Okay, it's okay. Thank you. We can teach. Can you hear? Oh, much better. Okay, let me repeat this because this is quite important according to my understanding. The people in developing countries or in less developed nations, we don't spend too much because our sources are limited and we have limited purchasing power. Our sources studies too much. Actually, this conference or this lecture should be taught to the people coming from the developed nations. They have the resources and they control the resources and they generate, they produce the policies. The people here or the people in other parts of the world, we are all humble. When we go back to the statistics, the energy consumption, the second or the third, look here. If you look at the world, the energy or electricity consumption did not change at all. Where it was changed, look at the US, look at EU, not even China. Because these countries, wealthy nations, they consume more than you consume, more than I consume. So these lectures should be taught there, not here. But as a person, as a lecturer, what can I do? I can tell my students, be respectful to the nature. Or one time, if you establish your own business or if you become an entrepreneur, don't put your employees too much pressure. Let them enjoy their lives. Because what we learned from COVID-19 pandemic, actually we knew it before. Human being, we are fatal. We are born and we die. We know that we die one day, but we don't know how and when. And what we learned from COVID-19 pandemic, any disaster or anything can happen anytime. Yesterday I was very upset, still I am grieving, because there was a very big earthquake in Turkey. It's a disaster, like COVID-19 pandemic. There are two types of disasters. Man-made disasters, that is a terrorist attack, and the second is natural disaster. People told us COVID-19 pandemic is a natural disaster. I don't know, it's still a question mark for most of people, but there is no proof. But what we learn from disasters, you have one life, and it may vanish any time. So seize the day, maximize it, but while maximizing your lifetime, be respectful to the people, be respectful to the environment. But I think people coming from the less developed countries or developing countries, we all know this. Because we struggle, we survive our environments. And without the environment, we cannot live this. Actually, these lectures should be taught to people coming from more developed countries, because they are just given the resources. They don't know how to get it. What I want to say, thank you very much for organizing such a conference, particularly about COVID-19 pandemic. But I think this is the issue that the wealthier or the more developed countries should discuss it much more seriously than we do. Thank you very much.
थैंक यू डॉक्टर बलना। नहीं मालूम जिसे मंजिल मकसूद अपनी, कितना बेकार है उस शख्स का चलते रहना। हम नए ख्वाब बुनेंगे नए मंजर लेकर, नए सूरज से कहो रोज निकलते रहना।
I will now request the chief guest of event, the worthy Vice Chancellor, University of the Punjab, Professor Dr. Niaz Ahmed Akhtar, to please share his views with all of us.
Thank you very much. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. First of all, I congratulate Director General Zinrawala Campus, his this wonderful event, international event, and a very important about the business, technology, and social sciences. I warmly welcome the researchers coming from abroad. From Turkey, you have just listened her, Professor Berno, then friends from Saudi Arabia, Malaysia, and Turkey. Yes. Yes, it takes a lot of time to organize such an international event. Again, to spare your time for such events as the friends have traveled from Saudi Arabia or Turkey. Spare the time giving classes to the other because it is the time for the semester is on, but we are grateful that our friends and researchers have spared their time for this international event, and lot of congratulations to Gujranwala campus and the DG. You were just listening about the post-pandemic situation Professor Balna was saying. Honestly, this business, lot of big businesses during pandemic, they lost the business. And even from day-to-day affairs, you can see some of the organizations, some of the businesses, they were working, but abruptly you will find that those businesses are not available. What is the reason that why they lost the business? And again, this combination or integration of business, technology and social sciences. Business, again, what I see that these are interrelated. Without the technology, you cannot run the business. Again, the social sciences or the social system is important to run the organization or the business. Therefore, if it is the integration of all these, another point is the system, the management system. If the system is not there, again your business is going in loss. One important thing, because you are the business or the commerce students or the faculty members who are here to learn something, the employer or the owner of the business will never give the money from the pocket. If the business is coming, if the profit is coming from the business, yes, you are getting the salary, you are getting the bonuses and so on. So the salaries are coming from the profit of the organization. Therefore, wherever you are working, your mind, all the time this should be in your mind that your business, your organization should run in profit on the economical basis. So you can see many of the organizations in our country, even in the manufacturing side or in the business services side, they lost the business because they were not taking care of the customers. You can look into the huge setup of Pakistan Railway. Even the railway is going in loss. But 2-3 bus owners, they are going in profit. What is the reason? Again, some of the schools, they are located in just 2 to 3 canals or 4 canals or even in 1 acre of land. They are running the business, they are running the school and they are in profit. Whereas the schools, public schools which are in acres of the land, they are going in loss and the people, all of us are there not sending the kids in the public schools. Because we have lost the trust on those public sector organizations. Because they were not taking care of the customers, the stakeholders. I can see in the late 80s, this Nokia business, Nokia company, they were going in profit, they were running this telecom sector very effectively and in a profitable manner. But today, the preference is given to iPhone. The Nokia doesn't exist. What is the reason? You can see what I have tried, that why the organizations or the business sector lose the business, or the services sector, why they lose the business. They don't take care of the customers. Today, when Nokia even they went into the Six Sigma techniques, out of millions of the mobile sets, they were just having 3 to 4 mobile sets defective. But even then, today in this global market, the first preference is given into the iPhone or Samsung. They are spending billions of dollars, billions of rupees on the research and development of these products. Therefore, I think the important point is, if we integrate these 4 points, or at least 3 sectors. One is the technology, the management system, and the social system. If you bring Professor Barno, or I have serving 13, 14 years as a VC in Pakistan and I'm going to serve the Turkish university, I may not be a successful VC. The reason is I don't know the social system or the culture of that country. The social system is important. Similarly, the technology. You must update your technological system if you are running a business, without which you cannot have the economical or profitable organization. Therefore, my friend, the speakers who will speak on this important event in this international conference, you must, I believe you must bring some of the recommendations to the manufacturing sector or the service sector. Again, last point, about 100, 150 participants are here, and you may be spending 2 days or 3 days or the whole day on the conference. What should be the net outcome of the organization, this international event? What should be the net outcome? And it is social interchange, as Professor Banna was saying. This is the platform where people can interact with each other. Yes, this can be one of the objectives. We can have the collaboration with the Turkish universities. We can have the interaction with the Turkish Saudi universities, and so on. All the organizations who are participating, either from the manufacturing side, you can have the interaction between academia and the manufacturing sector. Yes, this is also one of the objectives. But at least you must have in your mind that what will be the outcome of our sitting in this hall by the closing of the day. And even tomorrow, if you are presenting your paper, as Madam was saying, Professor Berna, what was the impact of this pandemic? How the technologically advanced country, how they were affected by this pandemic? What was the use of the technology during that time? What is the impact of working from home? What is the loss or what is the impact when you are not interacting with each other? Therefore, I believe these are the important platforms where you learn. But one thing, as a student, people like you are the scholars who are presenting the paper today. I think one thing you must have in your mind, that if I am spending 1 hour, 2 hours in the class, in the communication side or in the business side, what my students or my scholars or my participants will learn from my lecture. Thank you once again, thank you very much, Professor Naveed, and I congratulate the Gujranwala campus once again. Thank you very much for inviting me in this important event. God bless you all.
We request you to please distribute some souvenirs among our keynote speakers. Ji, I request Dr. Ludna Khan, to please receive your souvenir. Dr. Verna, please receive your souvenir. Dr. Khurram Joya, please. Dr. Jamshed Iqbal. Let's give a huge round of applause for Dr. Bella, that she came all the way from Turkey. Thank you, sir, for being among us. Professor Dr. Muhammad Rasool Sahab. Thank you, sir, for being here. Mudassir Kapoor Sahab, Director JLM Campus. Thank you very much, sir, for being here. Dr. Ajman Khan Sahab from Gift University. Thank you, sir, for being here. Mr. Sarfraz Khalid, Deputy Director Protocol, University of the Punjab. Sarfraz Sahab. Professor Dr. Naveed Iqbal Chaudhary, the Director General, University of Punjab, Gurudwara Campus. And now I would like Dr. Naveed Iqbal Chaudhary. Okay, proceed. And Professor Dr. Naveed Iqbal Chaudhary, please present the shield to the Vice Chancellor, University of the Punjab, Professor Dr. Thank you everyone for being a part of the event. We really appreciate all of you. Thank you, sir. We will carry on with our speech.
speeches. Our next keynote speaker is Dr. Puram Joya. Please, sir. Qasim Nisar Sahab, you are requested to please join us on stage. We request Madam Dr. Posler to please join us on the stage. Dr. Lubnetla Khan, please join us on the stage.
Good afternoon. Before I start, of course, I would like to say thanks to the person previously seen here, Dr. Naveed, for the kind invitation. Actually, I am alien with respect to this domain of the conference. My background is more towards chemical science, and I have nothing to do with the business or business things. So, thanks to him for inviting me. Why I came here? Because, like Dr. Verna was saying, related to different activities, science, research, and businesses in COVID. COVID was like more or less, I won't call it a blessing, but that COVID time was good for me. I was of course abroad just before the COVID and doing different things based on research on my field. During COVID, I decided to come to Pakistan, and most of the COVID time, that's 2+ years, I stayed in Pakistan. And I can't sit idle at home. So I decided to do few things. So first thing I started to, I launched my Facebook channel just for fun, not for teaching or interaction with people, nothing like that. But while I was doing that, then I came to know that I can use such a platform to do something else. Then one of my friends, few of my friends who were doing businesses in different fields, I had interaction with them. Then I started to do a few things related to education. And this is first my interaction came into business field. I actually more call it entrepreneurship rather than business, because it's like, following what's happening already in the academic business in Pakistan, but I was always putting my new idea what I can do. In 2000, let's say 2020, late 2020 or beginning of 2021, like 2 years before, I launched a small institution in Lahore, Institute of Blue Horizons, where I started to do trainings on the research-based training, let's say. And it gave me that idea that people like me who are more in academics and research, they can do few new things. At least you can give it a try. For me, it was easy because I almost did not put any money into it. And the institution, let's say the building was already there. My friends was doing, he was facilitating the students to go abroad. And we already had an arts and couple things like that there. I launched a new thing related to research training and those things. Then I also, meanwhile, started to do, let's say, seminars and lectures in different parts of Pakistan. Actually, many, I don't recall them, but more than, let's say, 100 workshops and seminars I have done in the last 2.5 years in Pakistan. So then it was like, of course, my mind was never that I will do purely in terms of business, but at least it give me, or like to open doors for me, for people like me who want to, let's say, go from academics purely into business. Then I started to get bored. Okay, so I was thinking of doing few more things which are more related to technology. And I started a company with another friend of mine. Actually, we have two companies now in Lahore. One is LabTech, another one is HSE Services. In LabTech, we are doing, let's say, testing, different testings in collaboration with industry. And industry is like money provider to us. They give us money, we have already many resources. Thank you. So, what I was saying? Okay. So we have, the money is coming from the industry. So we already have, let's say, that time I started that company like 1.5 years ago from today, like August, something like August 1.5 years ago. So we have money, we already have few infrastructure there. Then we communicate with the industry. They give us money to do some project for them. In the beginning, it was just simple testing for different things, mostly related to chemicals. But of course, now we have moved, let's say, slight ahead of this. So money is coming from there. It's like a recycling. So money is coming. We put some money into the business development, some money into resources, salary, and all those things. So it's like a recycling now. So the system is more of self-sustaining. Then we launch another one, which is HSE Services. So what we are doing services for people who want to have their own small companies, bigger companies, even industries, organizations, different ideas, things like that. Actually, we are, let's say, slowly increasing the domain of that. But again, while I was doing that, I started to know also that I loved what I was doing before, which was research and teaching. Mostly I was doing for the last 10+ years outside Pakistan. So then I decided again to go back to go abroad again, like one year ago, something like that. So still, because I started already a few things in Pakistan, I'm not going to stop them. Plus, I was part of faculty at UT Lahore also. So still, my feet are there still. So I am involved there in research. Plus, also like 2 months ago, let's say, I started a few projects with the students, and actually those projects again based on to develop something and then take it to the develop the business model, let's say, and then take it to the market. Because I know few things are there which I actually learned from my last 2.5 years. So I actually keeping those things in my mind and pursuing my business. In the meanwhile, let's say, I have met many people from industry and business all those things. Of course, when you see people, they give you different ideas based on their education, intellect, experience, and all those things. So when I was, let's say, meeting people from industry, they always gave me a different perspective, how I can pursue in my idea based on business. When I talk to technologists, they say different things. And when I talk to pure business people, we call it venture capitalists. I don't know whether you know this term or not. They give me totally these different, let's say, idea. So I was confused because my education is nothing to do with business, I told you already. So then it's like taking information from here. then at some stage you have to, let's say when you want to go ahead, you have to make your own idea based on different things what you hear, and then you have to take your own call. So I did it exactly like this. People were saying to me, you have to keep the things in the market, demand and supply, all we know these rules. But what I learned until today, I'm actually against this rule. And how this things came to my mind, it coming from Uber concept or Cream concept. If you go back 4 or 5 years back in Pakistan, we never need a Kareem, we never need an Uber. We have rickshaw, tanga, whatever you call it. And we can easily commute between inside the city, like or even outside the cities. Uber and Kareem came in and they give you a luxury that the driver is there, a nice car is there, he will pick you from your doorsteps and drop you wherever you want. Drop you even, let's say, close to the bathroom, something like that, something like this. There was no need of this. So this idea was against that idea, demand and supply. This is what I learned from Uber concept. But it gives you a luxury. Within the existing facility, it gives you a luxury. Talking to me? This is confusing. Okay. So this is how I also started thinking about, it's nothing to do with what is demand of the society. It's to develop a product and make it need or demand of the people. And of course, thing has to be something new, something innovative or something like that. I will give you, when I will come to, after this is like my perspective, I will show you different technological things which I'm trying to do or developing in Pakistan. And you will see most of them are totally new things. So I have no competition in the market for me. So I feel it like I'm more than a king. Even within the company which I developed based on education, because I am doing foreign scholarship trainings. And there is no one in Pakistan who is doing this based on business. So I have no competitor in the market. So I feel like I'm a king, because king in a sense that I can ask my client whatever money I want to have from them. And because I have no competitor, so they cannot easily bargain with me by saying, oh, there is another person who is doing in this much money or this much package is there. So I will keep on, let's say, taking my own way of doing business and technology. But of course, like I was talking to Dr. from Harris College, I am very open and I of course want to discuss with people more and more. Hopefully 2 days I will be here, so of course I will discuss it with them. And I'm very open person, student or researcher can talk to me. I can share my ideas with you also. Even if you are, let's say, new in the field, it doesn't matter. Sometimes, while infection, it may benefit me, it may benefit you, or it may benefit both of us. Things like this. So very briefly about how I see academic and technology entrepreneurship. First thing, while I was sitting, I was writing 3 points. For me, very important thing is, before even doing business or entrepreneurship, or even any job, I think it's very important for new start, let's say youngsters, to know who you are and what you want to do. It's better to know your personality, what your personality is. If someone asks me, I always answer, I love talking. I like to talk. Best job or business is for me is what? I can become a molvi, I can become a kawal, and I can become a teacher, because I love to talk. So these 3 professions are best for me. Then I love to think. So that's why I'm in research, because researcher is more than, you have to think whatever you know, and then relate to new ideas, and then generate something new, and then you work on it to validate your idea into a practical way. So I use because I know myself, I use my personality and my talent to do whatever I want to do. Same thing I think with the youngster. For me, I think it's very important to tell you that it's not important that you listen to me, you listen to someone else, and you just blindly follow us. First, I think you need to know yourself. Just take pen or ballpoint when you go back at home today or tomorrow. Write 10 points about your personality. Honestly, don't lie with yourself. Just write whatever you have. Write 10 points. It doesn't matter if they are good or they're bad things. Write 10 traits of your personality. Then try to devise or design your future based on those. But of course, you can always add something into your personality, and you can always take something out of your personality. Person like me is also against those concepts that if you are genetically something, you can't change it. I have a different mindset. I say that I believe that you can change whatever you want inside you. It has nothing to do with your genes. When you change your personality, you change your perception, your mind, And then of course it will influence the DNA. So you can alter your DNA which is related to your perception of things or personality. Not like as a physical builder. Okay? You can trust me, you can believe me, or doesn't matter. You can deny my argument. This is the first thing I want to say. Second thing is what I feel in business, first thing you have to ask yourself, what do you want to sell? Based on that, then you start thinking and developing a product. So, what I feel being an academician is sell yourself, don't sell your product. Try to sell yourself. Once you know that you can sell yourself means your personality, your skills, your education, your commitment, your lies, your honesty, whatever you have as a person, sell it to the people and see whether you can sell it or not. If you are, let's say, successful in that, of course, then it will be very easy, because while selling yourself, you always have an interaction with the people, you always get some contact with the people. So then it will be easy for you to sell your product. Because you develop your product, you market it, and then you sell it. So I think it will become easy for you. Okay, now I go to this. Business, we all know what business is. I have few definitions written there, but I think there's no time to just read it. So you all know, so I will just quickly go through. For me, business is like something which is already demand in the market. You can start developing it, like soap industry. So you can start making beauty soap or whitening soap or blackening soap or whatever it is. And then you can sell it to the people, because some people they want to tan their color like me. I want to have some kind of brown color. So I need a blackening soap rather than a whitening soap. Entrepreneurship actually is, for me, it's like actually entrepreneurship is a child of a business, but it's a new child of a business, or child from a different mother, let's say. So entrepreneurship is like you see what is the market, and you can develop a product or idea based on the market. Or like Uber concept, you can develop something which you are not sure people are going to use it or not, and then you sell yourself and sell your idea to people that they can start using it. Yeah, your mobile is okay. So for example, I will tell you that we have, you can see the glass door or window just on the back of you, it's in front of me. Or these window, like the window curtains we have. Let's say you want to close and open them while sitting. What you will do? You will have a small electronic system there, and then some small remote. So with remote you can open them, because you have to just tilt them from left to right. Once they are in front of the window in, let's say, 90 angle, then it's open. But when you turn them on 180 angle or close to zero, they are closed then, right? But let's say I will just remove the window and give you an idea that I will coat a paint on the window. And then by switching your device, you can make it transparent or colored. It sounds a brilliant idea, I'm sure you never know about this idea. Actually, it's a very new thing happening in the world. So these type of things, there is no need of people to have, let's say, to buy my product. But let's say once I give this luxury to people that they have to just sit, there is no need of having a curtain there. It's just simple window. I'll paint or put something on that. And by switching the remote, you can make it transparent just like a window, or you can put a color on it. And then color can be again on your choice. You want a red color, black color, brown color, blue color, or even a mixed color. So I'm sure that many people even in this hall will not buy from me, but I'm also sure at least 10-20 people will be attracted to my idea. So this luxury idea is only for the luxury people in each class, let's say. This is actually another way I started to look at the business. So you can make a business plan. Let's say if we talk about Lahore, I came from Lahore. Lahore population is 20 million. So I can make a business plan where I can make a product for 20 million people. Or I can focus just on 10,000 people, which is elite class. And I can develop millions rupees product for them. You got my point? So I actually keep these two things with me. I actually started a new idea like 1.5 months ago with one of my friends who has a luxury car showroom in DHA. So I'm going to develop these coatings for the windscreen of the cars, because this technology is a little expensive. So I know if I give it to a Suzuki person, even Suzuki is now 30 lakhs. It's no more a cheap car now. Maybe people will not, let's say, happy to invest 1 million rupees more on the car, because it's already 3 million rupees. But I know a person having more than 10 million car, he can easily give me 1 million more, and then I can do these luxury things with the car, or things like that. Even, yesterday I was at UT, I was discussing with people. I'm also going to start let's say, to make more indoor decoration of the automobiles based on gold and platinum plating. Again, it sounds very exciting and very luxury. It's again for those who want to have that. So interior, whatever you want, you can coat them, string, even keychain, whatever metal is there, even plastic, we can coat them with the gold, with platinum, or any metal, whatever you want. And then we can make it more exciting, more attractive, more luxury and things like that. So this is how I see entrepreneurship. For me, entrepreneurship is like you based on, let's say, some market survey, when you develop a product where potentially you don't see big buyers there, but then you create a demand for the people. Special class. It doesn't matter any class or other class. Special class they call it. And then we sell your product to them. Plus, of course, entrepreneurship, difference between business and entrepreneurship, according to me, of course, according to the definition also, is about entrepreneurship is more than taking risks. You know, this is my personality. I like taking risks. I love challenges. I know many people in Pakistan, they hate it. They live in easy zone. That's why I told you before doing anything, you have to write 10 points about you. So if you can take challenge, of course, entrepreneurship is wonderful. But if you want to stay in comfort zone, then of course you can become partner of some business, or you can do a job like we are doing already in Pakistan. Mostly people are doing in Pakistan. Okay, so what next we have? Academic entrepreneurship. Actually, I introduced this term. I never heard this term in Pakistan from anyone else. Academic entrepreneurship is again, it's like, you know, you have something based on academics. You can open your school, you can do college, whatever it is. So I opened a research, actually a training center, which was giving theoretical training to the people. Then I started giving seminars, paid seminars, of course, to the universities, both public and private sector. And then I started to get a lot of money from it. That's why I named it academic entrepreneurship. Actually, you know, the idea was new. And it was like a given try. I wanted to see what is the demand there. And very soon I came to know the people really demand it. That's why I launched it. And I named it as academic entrepreneurship. But of course, it's not like someone has to create exactly the idea what I have. Of course, there's so much room to have new ideas, and then you can do you can have new academic-based entrepreneurship. The technology entrepreneurship, because my main, let's say, education is technology. I'm a mechanical scientist, I told you. So I started to now, let's say, last 6 months, year and between 6 months, I started to move more towards it. Actually, you know, 4 years ago, I wanted to do an electric car project in Pakistan. Actually, it was solar. I call it SHE, S-H-E, Solar Hydrogen Electric Car. Hydrogen is my field, my research area, and of course, little bit solar cell and all those things also. But I got some, let's say, some group of few students from electrical department. We started a project, and then after 3-4 months, because those students were not having a very good commitment, so they just leave somewhere else. Then I went abroad. So on, off. It was happening for 4 years. Again, I started, you know, like 6 months ago to relaunch this project again. I have my own foundation, Joy Research Foundation. So let's say 1.5 billion will be coming from my foundation. Plus, I have a research partner. They are happy to put more than 5 million rupees in it. Then, of course, I can have, if I need money in the future, I can have it from abroad. Money is no issue in terms of these things. If you have exciting research ideas or technology ideas. And plus, I told you another idea already about this video coating. We are going to develop. Actually, we are going to develop it for the sunglasses. So you have like your spectacles. So you can coat on it, so it will remain spectacle for you. Plus, if you go out, you just press 1 or 2 times small switch load. We can even give it more, and then color will change. So you don't need to change your glasses. Then we will slowly move towards the helmet. The motorbikes are wearing. So you can use the same helmet in the daylight with black color on it, and in the night it becomes transparent. You don't need to change it. So this is how slowly we are going from glasses to the helmet, then to the windscreen of the car or the window panes, let's say, and then to the windows, and we will see. You know, in Middle East, because for 4 years I'm there now. Middle East, we have a lot of the problem of this energy, internal energy conservation. Because internally we have building is cooled by air conditioning. They have actually 2 layers of glasses. Sometimes 2 layers are next to each other. Sometimes we have 1 layer, and then there is another glass layer, which is the corridors, which is 5 to 10 feet away. But still, a lot of heat energy is coming in. So then there is a compromise between internal cooling and the external heat. So if we put color, this type of color on those windows which are on the outside, they will of course block, first they will block UV. And then of course they will block many portions of the visible light. And then of course less heat penetration will be inside the building, by those 2 layers, and then internal cooling, the loss of the internal cooling will be minimized. And for 1 billion, it can save in terms of annual more than $1 billion for us, just for the heating and cooling system. Okay. This is like I already told you a few things. Why I, why I still want to continue that. I have an economic position in Saudi Arabia. I'm a professor there. I'm head of an institution, also the research institution. But still, I want to stay like 30-40% into entrepreneurship and business because I love doing new things, taking challenges. It gives me more freedom, more career there. I love traveling also. So it's like based on what I like to do. That's why I'm doing it. So I think business or entrepreneurship is more about giving you liberty. You don't have to be just boss person, which I know in many Asian countries, Pakistan, India, and Bangladesh, we are like this. I see, especially I know in the private sector, it's like this. You have to be just boss. And many bosses, I know even in the public sectors, they don't want to listen to you. They have their mind, and whatever the way they want to pursue, they will pursue. Only few bosses where they have put in their own money, they are little bit open to listen to you. But if your boss is a salaried person, he will be totally focusing on, or let's say, not going astray from his path, whatever he has in his mind. So in that way, he is not focusing or learning, but let's say, the other negativity is he is blocking you also to expand, to learn, or to excel. This is the beauty about, I think, business and especially entrepreneurship. If you have your own money, or 3-4 people are doing entrepreneurship, and they have their own money, then you have freedom. You can have your, let's say, office or business development center, even on the 10th floor, or in Manara, Pakistan, 10 feet underground, wherever you want, you can have it, or even in the nest of eagle, you can do that, wherever you want. So this is like, I feel that attraction or attractive thing about entrepreneurship. Then what we have, 5 minutes, 10 minutes है मेरे पास और I can take as much as I want. मैं तो बाज में आऊँगा बोलने से, मुझे आप स्टेज से मैं छोड़ता नहीं इसको. Okay. अच्छा ये मैंने बात की थी आपको what you can sell. थोड़ी देर पहले मैंने बात की. I think the first thing is, do you believe in yourself or you can sell yourself or not? I know I can sell myself. Myself means I have skills. Let's say I can drive a car at 180 km per hour, and no one in the hall can do that. Then I have a selling point. You got my point? आप में से कोई भी तेज गाड़ी नहीं चला सकता, मैं चला सकता हूँ. मेरे पास एक सेलिंग पॉइंट आ गया, मैं आप लोगों को उल्लू बना सकता हूँ, आप नहीं बना सकते. So I have another selling point. Whatever. So this is like you have to know yourself, then you have a selling point. Once you have your own selling point, then of course you can use those selling points. You can base your entrepreneurship also based on your service. In service, you don't need to have to develop a product. You just need to have office, and then you, let's say, market your service, whatever service things you are going to provide to people, and then you start doing business. Then, of course, more is like technology entrepreneurship as actually more like having a product. So you can develop a product, and then you just need to market it and you can also sell if you have some design or some idea about some technology. You can sell your idea also. अच्छा ये सारी चीजें ना पेटेंट भी हो सकती हैं. आपको मालूम होगा पेटेंट क्या होता है. You can sell your intellect also. Actually, patent is based on intellect. So patent is like you protect your intellect legally. So no one can steal your ideas. Let's say मैं आपको एक आइडिया दे रहा हूँ, ठीक है? मैं नहीं चाहता मेरी मर्जी की तरह आप उसको इम्प्लीमेंट भी करें. तो मैंने क्या किया होगा, मैंने उसको ऑलरेडी पेटेंट किया होगा. So if let's say you want to utilize this idea, you can't do it without my prior permission. Otherwise, I will file a suit against you. बाहर बहुत आवश्यकता है कि यहाँ पे भी चीजें होनी हैं. We have IP office already in Pakistan, Islamabad, who are doing this to protect your idea. Business plan, आपको मुझसे ज़्यादा मालूम होगा इसके बारे में. I don't need to go into the details. These things. I already told you that entrepreneurship is, for me, is more like your personality, your lifestyle. It's not like only your learning. ये सिर्फ कॉपी पेस्ट नहीं, आपने किताब से बड़ा अप्लाई करें. ये आपका पूरा एक लाइफस्टाइल है जो बनता है या नया लाइफस्टाइल ऐड होता है, जिसका चेंज होता है. Different pros and cons and challenges. I think सबसे बड़ा challenge, I think the biggest challenge in entrepreneurship is how you make or convince someone to give you money on your idea. So HEC is already doing this. I know that a few days ago there was a session going on in Punjab University, our campus, where HEC and in collaboration with them, they were giving 2 million rupees, 20 lakhs, for a successful business idea or business plan, something like that. मैं भी ना अगले साल launch कर रहा हूँ इसको अपने इदारे के साथ, and hopefully we will also give from our institution at least 1 million rupees to a successful business idea. I am very much hopeful I will do that. इसके अलावा मैं भी प्रॉपर्टी का बिजनेस स्टार्ट किया रिसेंटली पाकिस्तान में 6 माह पहले. हम आल्सो इन्वेस्टिंग विद फ्यू पीपल की मनी देयर अगेन, क्योंकि मैं सिर्फ मनी अपने लिए नहीं कर रहा. आई वांट कि मैं मनी जनरेट करूं आल्सो फॉर माय रिसर्च फाउंडेशन वेयर आई, बिकॉज मेरी रिसर्च फाउंडेशन में जो काम कर रहे हैं I give them to salary. मैं उनसे पैसे नहीं लेता बल्कि उनको देता हूँ आने के. Mostly I have MPhil and PhD student there. I also started 8 months ago a project with UT Lahore also. मेरे पास 15 student हैं UT Lahore and UT KS also. So actually I'm doing many things. और I don't know, some of money is keep on coming. So let's see how things will go. अच्छा थोड़ा सा मैं 2 मिनट, इन्होंने 2 मिनट कहा था, 2 मिनट खत्म हो गए, मैं 2 मिनट और दूंगा जरा कि I just want to share. Very briefly, what we are developing is technology. Almost 9-10, let's say before last Ramadan, during that time, a person from Chinchi, का जनरल मैनेजर हमारे पास आया हमारे in our office in Kent. He discussed that our company is also an issue in its licensing authority. हम लाइसेंस भी दे सकते हैं दूसरों को, ठीक है? तो हमारे पास ऑलरेडी वो सर्टिफिकेशन है. They came to us and asked us, can we give them Euro 2 license for the Chinchi exhaust? Chinchi आपको पता, मुझे नहीं पता, यहाँ महंगी है और बहुत ज़्यादा है. तो Chinchi का ना Chinchi waste gases are too much terrible. बहुत ज़्यादा ना उनमें they have carbon, they have color, they have smoke, NOx, SOx, sulfur oxide, carbon oxide, and nitrogen oxide. So they asked us if we give them Euro 2 certification. अब Euro 2 certification ये होती है, इसमें मैंने लिखा हुआ है, it's actually based on exhaust of the fuel coming from your automobile. तो आपको पता है चिंची का और रक्षा का सबसे गंदा धुआं होता है. We call it obnoxious, let's say, smoke coming out of it. We told them we don't do that. उन्होंने हमें ना बार्गेन किया कि मैं आपको 50 लाख देता हूँ सर्टिफिकेट दे. तो मैं क्योंकि बैठा था मीटिंग में, मैंने कहा मैंने नहीं करना. तो वो मैंने कहा 50 लाख मुझे दें. We will develop a technology for you where you can reduce the Chinchi exhaust close to at least Euro 1. क्योंकि अभी उनका तो Euro 1 के पास आसपास भी नहीं आता उनका एग्जॉस्ट है. तो उन्होंने कहा हाउ ये पॉसिबल है. कि मैंने उनको ये आइडिया दिया कि we can develop a catalytic converter for you, which is again based on my research, which can reduce the. मेरे पास ना होंडा सिटी है गाड़ी, उसके अंदर ना इस तरह के 2 कैटेलिटिक कन्वर्टर लगे हैं. अभी जो नई गाड़ी आ रही है स्पेशली फ्यूल सेल बेस्ड होगा, फ्यूल सेल जिसमें EFI सिस्टम है, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक फ्यूल इंजेक्शन सिस्टम. They have, most of the car have 2 catalytic converters there. So they reduce the exhaust. Smoke, NOx or SOx, they let's say हम आसान जो हमें कहते हैं, they split them apart and release simple gases which are less or least toxic for the environment and for the people. तो ये आइडिया दिया, they like it and they give us 50 lakh. तो ये प्रोजेक्ट अभी हम कर रहे हैं आज. दूसरा मैंने आपको बता दिया शी के बारे में, शी कार के बारे में. ब्यूटी ऑफ दिस कार इज जीरो एग्जॉस्ट. कोई इसका एग्जॉस्ट नहीं है, जीरो एग्जॉस्ट है, बिकॉज दिस एग्जॉस्ट इज जस्ट वाटर, नथिंग एल्स. वी पुट इन वाटर एंड इट एलिमिनेट्स, लेट्स से इट एक्सक्रीट आउट वाटर. पानी से चलती है और पानी छोड़ती है ऐसे, बिकॉज इट हाइड्रोलाइज वाटर विद हाइड्रोजन. ये थोड़ी सी एक्सपेंसिव होगी, शायद से 70-80 लाख के आसपास की कॉस्ट होगी स्टार्ट में, बट वी विल सी हाउ थिंग्स विल गो. इसका नेक्स्ट कॉन्सेप्ट है, वंस द सोलर कार, द हाइड्रोजन कार इज रेडी, वी विल कन्वर्ट इट इनटू हाइड्रोजन इलेक्ट्रिक, देन हाइड्रोजन इलेक्ट्रिक एंड सोलर. सो वी आर ट्राइंग टू डेवलप with Switzerland, a company who have those coatings, so you can paint on automobile, and when it's standing in the sunlight, paint will act as solar cell. अभी पाकिस्तान में या मेरे पास ये टेक्नोलॉजी नहीं है. That's why I have to be dependent on them. But you know, those people are so nice. They love to collaborate with me without even asking me to share any money with them. इदारे का नाम है, actually it's a company from Geneva Institute of Technology की कंपनी है जिन्होंने कोलैबोरेट किया हमारे साथ. ये वीडियो का आइडिया मैंने ऑलरेडी आपको बता दिया. सनग्लासेस की तरफ भी वी आर एक्चुअली स्टोरी में. ये एक और छोटा सा आइडिया अगेन बेस्ड ऑन माय रिसर्च. मेरा रिसर्च का फील्ड है थिन फिल्म एंड नैनो मटेरियल्स. पाकिस्तान में ना 4 बड़े यूनिट हैं ब्रांड इलेक्ट्रोलिसिस के. एक है इधर पास ही आपके इत्तेहाद केमिकल्स, देन वी हैव ICI Kyoda, चोड़ा में ऐसे ही का प्लांट है, ओलंपिया केमिकल्स का ऐसे ही प्लांट है, और क्लोज टू फैसलाबाद सितारा केमिकल्स है, ये 4 बड़े यूनिट है. Someone told me Niman Chemical also start doing it. By doing brine electrolysis, you make chlorine and caustic soda. Caustic soda होता है anywhere. Caustic soda is a commodity chemical in more than 1 lakh products in Pakistan. इतनी बड़ी डिमांड है उसकी. वो काफी सस्ती चीज है. You can buy kilogram in few hundred. So they made it from नमक, from salt. Brine कहते हैं salt solution को. तो नमक से बनता है सारा कुछ. और जो क्लोरीन बनती है, क्लोरीन का आपका ब्लीचिंग पाउडर बनता है, HCl गैस, HCl का केमिकल आगे बनता है. HCl is again a commodity chemical for more than 1 million products. ऐसे है. So I discussed with them few years back during the COVID meeting थी. I was there and the person from Thal Chemical was also there. मैंने डिस्कस किया. They love it but because they are a little bit slow in pursuing. उनको डर है कि how कि कैसे चीज आगे करें और क्या उनके आइडिया तो नहीं चुरा लूंगा. Then I give them the presentation और फिर उसके बाद उनको एहसास हुआ कि they are going to see my idea. मैं ऑलरेडी सब कुछ जानता हूँ what they are doing. So maybe in the beginning they take it a little bit easy, but then they will. अभी चीजें चल रही हैं, money is no issue. They can invest huge money of it, huge money into our project. अभी सिर्फ उसका प्रॉब्लम चल रहा है कि on what terms मैंने finish कर दिया, on what terms we are going to start it. So let's see. I'm very much hopeful. वो नहीं देंगे, वो क्या कहते हैं, too many doors you open doors. तो ये थोड़ा सा मेरे को फाउंडेशन के बारे में नो टाइम टू कवर से, लेकिन हम काफी चीजें कर रहे हैं. ट्रेनिंग अभी शायद में एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप की ट्रेनिंग स्टार्ट करें, टेक्नोलॉजी एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप की. ये मेरी लैब की चीजें, कुछ लैब में कुछ ऑलरेडी चीजें हैं मेरे पास. ये जो रेड कलर की 3 इंस्ट्रूमेंट है, वी आर गोइंग टू बाय देम. तकरीबन एक इंस्ट्रूमेंट ना 8-9 करोड़ का है. और मेरे पास इतने पैसे नहीं हैं, बट आई नो ऑल द अरेंज दैट. इट्स नो प्रॉब्लम, नो इशू. और ये उसका लैब का जो हमने रेनोवेट की थी लास्ट में, उसका पिक्चर अभी नई पिक्चर मेरे पास नहीं है. यू कैन जस्ट गूगल इट इफ यू वांट टू सी. और व्हाट यू नो, मैं भी रिसर्चर हूं बेसिकली, तो आई हैव ट्रैवल्ड इन मेनी कंट्रीज. मैंने 15-20 मुल्कों में काम किया हुआ है, यूरोप में भी, अमेरिका में भी, ऑस्ट्रेलिया में भी. तो व्हाटएवर मैंने कुछ रिसर्च की चीजें आपको बताई नहीं है, बट व्हेन आई गो टू केमिस्ट्री कॉन्फ्रेंस ऑफ कोर्स आई डिस्कस मोर रिसर्च. तो दीस ऑल पीपल इज कंट्रीज, रिसर्च लैब, फंडिंग एजेंसीज, they you know, I will always be grateful for them. कि उन्होंने हमेशा मुझे पैसे दिए हैं. They trust on me. Of course I deliver also. That's why they keep on giving me money. But of course without the platform we cannot do research and we cannot do anything. And thank you very much.
So nice of you, Dr. Prasanna. Just to add the color in the conference, I would now like to invite Dr. Rubna Islam Khan. Please, Dr. Rubna. Her study and research is very interesting, and she will herself tell about her research. Dr. Rubna.
Respected Vice Chancellor Dr. Niaz Ahmed Akhtar Sahab, respected DG Dr. Naveed Iqbal Chaudhary Sahab, respected guests Dr. Barna, Dr. Khurram, Dr. Mustafa, and Dr. Mohammed Riaz Mahmood, and respected DG Zeram Campus Dr. Mudassar Kapoor Sahab, and my dear Adila Hussain. Assalamu alaikum. And very good afternoon. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity and honor to share my naive thoughts with all of you. I think it will be a change of taste for all of you because the previous presentations were a little bit more serious and a heavy dose. Mine is going to be lighter in every sense because the time, in the sense of time and the material and the content that I am going to share with you all. It was a research that I conducted during the period of lockdown and COVID-19, when so much of the social media, we all were using social media and Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp, and the materials were sharing in a lot of quantity and quality in those times. So this is basically a lingua-cultural analysis of COVID-19 related Facebook jokes. Being a researcher from language background, There are two major types of discourses which researchers and linguists have mentioned, that if you want to understand a nation, you should study either their proverbs or either their jokes. Or if you want to understand a man, you have just to focus on what he laughs at. लोग किस बात पे हंसते हैं, उससे आपको उनकी आइडियोलॉजीज, उनकी प्रेफरेंसेस, उनके लाइक्स, उनके डिसलाइक्स और उनकी लाइफ प्रेफरेंसेस के बारे में पता चल जाता है. ऐसी नेशंस के बारे में होता है. So it will be a slice of the whole cake because it was not possible to represent all the data that I have collected and have written the articles. So this is just a slice of the whole cake that I am going to share with you all. So in the presence of many conspiracy theories and the discourses of fear and threat, an enormous number of humorous materials are also circulating in the social media. This article and this presentation will discuss the impact the coronavirus pandemic has had on human life and how Pakistani people have responded to this virus during lockdown through their memes and humorous posts. The research questions were, how does humor on social media depict the culture-specific concerns of Pakistani people regarding COVID-19, and how do the social media jokes represent the public views, beliefs and reactions to COVID-19. The theoretical approach was the lingo-cultural approach proposed by Petrova, in which cultural examination of the numerous discourse repertoire from Pakistani social media has been conducted. In summary, this methodology diminishes the linguistic and extra-linguistic content of the selected joke to one significant substance that it remarks and evaluates as positive or negative. And named as to discover what the message is, the researchers have to put an inquiry to the text, the joke. What does this joke encourage us to do, to be, or not to do, and not to be? This approach relies on the semantic density, which is the frequency of occurrence of a particular theme of different positive or negative culture links. It would acquire a thorough, corpus-driven, objective and authentic portrayal of the positively and negatively assessed entries, hierarchy describing lingo-culture under scrutiny. The study of social media jokes help us understand how Pakistani individuals make sense of their surroundings and use coping mechanisms such as humor during crisis times. Humor enhances awareness, intensifies the likability, lessens counter-arguments and does not obstruct the comprehension of the message. So data analysis. This is just one of the many jokes that have been shared about gender on social media and which has reinforced the idea that in Pakistani society there is asymmetry in which females have been portrayed again in a negative light in the jokes which are shared regarding the COVID-19. The post says, depicting an old man with a white beard in the background, and then there is an Urdu statement written in front of the picture. बहुत जल्द हम इस वायरस के साथ जीना सीख लेंगे. आखिर लोग बीवियों के साथ भी तो रहते हैं. So the equation of whites with the virus, with an ailment, with a pandemic is showcasing the whole mentality of our culture and our preferences, how females have been negatively constructed and reconstructed, and this is damaging the institute of marriage. This joke is not contributing, this is not just a joke, this is contributing very negatively to the institution of marriage and the sanctity of the relations between established. I think the very first relationship of the human being with the human being was of husband and wife. But these jokes, which are bursting as a poisonous honey, though we think that this is just a joke, it is on the lighter note, but everything which is being shared on social media and we shared and we are laughing and then we are sharing with our friends, males and females, both of us. So we are stamping on the authenticity of the idea that yes, we do agree with the idea that women and wives are mostly behaving like ailments in the lives of their husbands, and this is not a positive relationship and men are mostly fed up of their wives. This is just one of the many hundreds of jokes about gender that I have collected and analyzed. Then there is again another gender stereotyping sample. Lockdown खत्म होने के बाद ख़वातीन शॉपिंग पर जाते हुए ये मंजर पेश कर रही होंगी. Another stereotyping image, neglecting all the positive attributes, neglecting all the sacrifices, neglecting all the service that women have provided during this pandemic times. They had no house helpers, they had no vacations, they had no way to go out. But everything is neglected and pushed under the carpet, and only these aspects have been highlighted, that women are going to go shopping as soon as the lockdown is going to finish. And they are going to the bazaar with huge and heavy bags to buy as much as they can. Then there is another stereotyping about women and talk. Corona की वजह से breaking news, some women have been depicted in the background in the cartoon picture. कोरोना की वजह से औरतें इकट्ठी नहीं हो पा रही हैं, मुल्क में चुगलियों की खतरनाक हद तक कमी. Again, the idea of backbiting has been associated with only females. So the question is there any data coming from that only females do this act of backbiting, or only this is the idea that has to be attached through the ideological state apparatuses, through the use of language medium and through the reinforce of social media and main media and TV and drama and films, that only women talk much and they talk uselessly and they indulge in backbiting, which is only negative use of the communication abilities. People's non-seriousness, it was the second thing which in the semantic density, that Pakistani people are not serious. They are not taking the threat as threatening as it is being emphasized in the whole world. बनू में इटली से वापस आए 2 अफराद का कोरोना टेस्ट नेगेटिव, घर वालों की खुशी में फायरिंग, 2 अफराद जाम बहक और 2 जख्मी. So this is also portraying the negative connotation attached with Pakistani people, that people are taking even this life-threatening ailment as not seriously. That कि वो कोरोना से तो बच जाएंगे, लेकिन जो कोरोना से बच के आया उसका टेस्ट नेगेटिव हुआ, उन्होंने उसे खुद फायरिंग के दौरान हलाक कर दिया. So when these things are shared and we laugh at these things, the point lies over there, that we are taking this non-serious depiction of the life-threatening ailment and pandemic in a very non-serious manner, and this is depicted in our humorous discourse. Humor में आपको वो चीजें भी पता चल जाती हैं जो serious discourse में हम cover कर जाते हैं, क्योंकि humor में आप छुपाते नहीं हैं, आप समझते हैं कि this is on lighter note and no one will going to for a deeper analysis of that shared material. Again, people's non-seriousness, पूरी दुनिया कोरोना का इलाज ढूंढ रही है और हमारी पुलिस अस्पतालों से निकल भागने वाले कोरोना के मरीज ढूंढ रही है. Again, people's seriousness on a lighter note has been shared through this joke. And this is about the online classes. This was the third most shared theme, and all of the students are aware about the times that we have spent during online classes as teachers and as students. A child and a senior person has been depicted in this job. ये online classes क्या होती हैं? The elder man is saying, पाकिस्तान में पढ़ते हो? The child says yes, and the child answers, WhatsApp recordings को कहते हैं. It means it is a taunt on the teaching methodology that untrained teachers mostly have adopted during those times when all of a sudden they have to switch from the on-campus mode to the online mode, and they have adopted different strategies. So people are making fun of those strategies that teachers have adopted during those times, that these are not as much effective as they should be. And then political satire. इस जानलेवा वबा और इतनी मारामारी के बाद भी अगर 8-10 करप्ट सियासतदान ना मरे तो मेरा तो कोरोना पर से भी एतमाद उठ जाएगा. It means it also shows the frustration prevailing in the Pakistani people about the political leaders that they are having in different parties, that they wish that at least 8 to 10 people should die of corona, those who are called so-called political leaders. And then there is a policeman who is beating a person who is violating the lockdown, and then there is the tagline says, it means that if you want to get this treatment, you just have to come out of the house and the policeman is standing over there to treat the people who are violating this rule. Population increase, because all of the people were staying in the houses, so there was a prediction there will be a minor baby boom in 9 months, and then one day in 2033 we shall witness the rise of the quarantines. Instead of teenage people, we will be having quarantines. The generation that will be of 18 years old or 19 years old in 2030. Shopping during lockdown. Breaking news: बाजारों में रश के बाद कोरोना वायरस दाम घुटने से हलाक. It means people are severely violating the rule of staying at home, and they are still going to bazaars, and there is a lot of rush. And this is a negative characteristic of Pakistani people, that they are not abiding by the rules. Overeating after the exit from coronavirus. How are we going to exit from that door? This is again on a lighter note. Yes. This is again on a lighter note. They are mentioning the overeating habits, and people are getting a lot of weight. China is responsible for this coronavirus. This was a conspiracy theory, and I don't know how much truth it was, but in the jokes it was frequently mentioned. अभी तक कोरोना सिर्फ चाइना की वाहिद प्रोडक्ट है जो रिलायबल और गारंटी शुदा है. It means again a hint towards China that maybe there is some conspiracy created in China which is the main cause of this coronavirus. So conclusion: reinforcing Petrova's assertion, whatever appears important for our wishing and willing, our hope and anxiety for acting and doing that and only that receives the stamp of verbal meaning. The hierarchical arrangement based on customary semantic density in a descending order has provided an insight into Pakistani society's matters of concern during COVID-19. Findings: the highest dense culturing consists of the memes about gender. The second and third categories target the people's non-seriousness about the precautionary measures and the online classes respectively. Satirical posts about political figures and governmental resiliency, and in the fourth position, the aggressive role of police, coupled with the expected population increase, has taken the fifth position in the hierarchy. The sixth category is about the massive tendency to shop carelessly. The seventh category comprises self-depreciating memes, followed by the eighth category about overeating. Memes about China being labeled as the creator of the virus have taken the ninth position, and the post about the ethnic slur dominates. The least dense category consists of the post about the hype created by the news channels. This hierarchical arrangement of the semantic densities has revealed real-life situations and concerns and doubts and belief systems of the current social media users in Pakistan. The need of the hour is to employ content creators to come up with the comic but creative memes and jokes to condition people, some conscious, to be more careful about their health. And this is all about today's presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Rudna. I would now like to call Dr. Ashman Khan to please share his views briefly, sir, in few minutes. After Dr. Ashman Khan Saab's speech, there will be prayer break.
During conferences and talks on Corona and their COVID scenario, there are two species that are usually neglected, the teachers and the students. So I'm going to talk about the problems that the teachers and the students face during this pandemic, and what lessons we have learned, and how can we plan if another bout of this malady occurs. So I'll just speak for the calculated 7 minutes speed. The global pandemic of coronavirus disease hit economies all over the world. The world's people were nowhere near the expectation of such a massive onslaught of a virus. Life came to a halt, and so did the world economies. Pakistan was no exception. All walks of life suffered from massive unemployment, food shortages, uphill bareness, and down with physical and psychological health. The pandemic has significantly impacted education in Pakistan, leading to several academic challenges. These include the increased use of technology, new modes of teaching and learning, maintaining and improving education standards, job security, and health issues. When the pandemic started, the institutional administrations ran from pillar to post to buy necessary equipment and internet bandwidth. While the students felt bewildered and surprised, and sometimes relieved as well, the universities busied themselves with revamping their learning management systems. In Pakistani academia, the most popular learning platforms were Zoom, Microsoft Teams, Google Classroom, etc. The students were asked to stay home and connect with these internet-based learning platforms through electronic devices. The students looked up to the teachers for all solutions, and the institutional administrations looked down upon them. Because of the limited technology bandwidth issues and lack of dedicated corners in homes, there were lots of problems. The first impact of the situation was the disruption of classroom instruction. Because there were no prior teacher trainings, the sudden shift to remote learning left many teachers, especially those from humanities, out of the scope of online environment. Since there were no securities on the part of the government, several institutions decided to cut the cost by disengaging the services of the teachers. The idea behind such decisions was the possibility of accommodating a larger number of students in online classes by merging the sessions. But the higher education authorities failed to notice was the mere fact that quantity always adversely impacts quality. Because there was no prior planning for such an adversity, the institutions under the orders of higher education authorities decided to establish a semblance of regular classes by making the teachers remain online for most of the day as if it would mirror their physical presence on campus. This is what Dr. Berta has also pointed out, that by making the teachers, making people stay rooted on their tables for most of the time would be counterproductive. This blurred the difference between work and home life, and the simultaneity and superimposition of domestic and professional responsibilities caused further stress to the teachers, who felt overloaded all the time. It is known that such stresses increase the susceptibility of the human body and make it prone to diseases like COVID-19. Statistically, for the report of the Institutions and the Education Commission, education continued uninhibited during this period. But the reality was quite different and exhibited itself in the coming semesters. Only now, after 2 or 3 semesters on campus, the dust has started settling. This disruption of on-campus classroom instruction resulted in a special loss for the slow learners. They would often be at a loss to connect technologically as well as psychologically. As a result, they started lagging far behind and found it very difficult to catch up with the rest of the students. It impacted their results and GPAs, bearing a stigma on their future employability. When the universities select their teaching faculty, it is not only their degrees, publications, and experiences that count. The selection does involve an implicit faith in their sense of responsibility. However, during COVID era, there was a massive trust deficit. I have heard and dispensed complaints that the teacher would arrange an extra class out of university stipulated hours and be subjected to an official explanation. Because we are time constrained, I would rush to an important issue which pertains to the mental health of the students and teachers who experienced increased levels of stress, anxiety, and depression in COVID and post-COVID era. In the first place, it was due to absolute uncertainty of the situation. Daily death tolls being highlighted through printed and electronic media. The death scores were almost proudly and religiously exhibited on all fear-mongering channels of information and broadcast, resulting in constant existential fears. However, while all fear-inducing stimuli triggered human thoughts and emotions, the authorities in academia would not think in terms of providing care for the poor nerves of the students and teachers whose only job is to use their brains all the time. So, overlooking the financial constraints and other things, I'll just go to the solution part of my presentation. Even during a normal, now this is a solution that I'm going to suggest, even during a normal university routine, a blended learning model that combines online and in-person instruction should be encouraged. Then, if the classes have to be switched off for some reason,
the students will not undergo extreme levels of stress and loneliness. Besides, this will keep the students and the teachers gradually prepared for the switch to digitization at any short time. For this purpose, weekly tutorials rather than daily lectures can be more effective. The students should be given challenging but exciting activities rather than bland assignments to engage them intellectually. Flipped classrooms should be introduced to maximize learning in case of minimum physical presence. A flipped classroom is a teaching model in which students view instructional videos, complete other pre-class work at home, and then come to class to engage in active learning activities and discussions with their teachers and classmates. The purpose of flipping the classroom is to allow the students to take control of their own learning and make better use of class time. This approach is thought to increase student engagement, motivation, and understanding of the material. In a flipped classroom, the teacher is a facilitator, helping students apply what they have learned and providing individualized support as needed. Counseling facilities are very important. They must be arranged on a serious note in the universities. Counseling can help individuals to adapt to the changes caused by pandemics, such as the shift to remote learning and the loss of social interaction, and to develop coping strategies for dealing with these changes. Additionally, schools and universities can provide counseling, mental health services, and integrate mental health education and positive psychology into their curriculum. Finally, we must remember that remote work and digital collaboration involve intricate physical and psychological implications for individuals and organizations. On the physical level, eye strains, headaches, gastric flux, and backaches have been frequently reported. Psychologically, we have to stand guard against anxiety, stresses, and depressive disorders when the normal course of action is halted. Those who are used to work in a team environment can suddenly feel abnormal isolation and loneliness. Digital communication causes a blurring of boundaries between work and personal life, and that can lead to complete burnout sometimes. Thus, frequent personal or virtual presence of all stakeholders must be arranged. The team leaders should be checking in on each team member to ensure that their off-campus experience is safe and healthy. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, all of you. It's been a pleasure having all of you among us. And for our break, Madam Satya.
With this, I would like to inform to all my audience that our 40 minutes prayer break today. Now and after that, after the prayer break, we will have 2 rounds of panel academic research sessions and a workshop with Dr. Barna. So after that, meanwhile, I would like to also share to all the faculty members, session chair, keynote speakers, and all the faculty members and guests to please reach on the committee office and the Office of Director General for lunch. Thank you.